Welcome to the Blind Tinkerer's Workshop. Been a few days since I've been out here in the shop, and we got 4¼ inches of snow out there. Fluffy snow. They said 1 to 2, but you got to double whatever they say. Well, I got this box in today, and I know what it is. So I think we're going to open it. Good noontime to you. How you doing out there? Well, it's been a few days since I've been out here in the shop. The weather hasn't been exactly good. We got the fluffy snow. It's easy to clean and brush away. And they're predicting for Saturday afternoon, for our area, 6 inches at least. I'm going to double that. We're going to figure we're going to get a foot on that, because whatever they say, at least wise, the majority of the time we always get twice as much as what they predict. We're only supposed to get 1 to 2 inches, the one we got out there now, last night, and I woke up to 4¼ inches. So even though it's fluffy, I didn't need the snowblower. But you can't, you got to double what they say, and that way, you know, you can be braced for the most, and hopefully it'll be less. Anyways, you can see what I got on the bench here. Before I open this, I'll want to explain what I wanted to get and been wanting to get from my shop. As you well know, I have, and I don't know where, here it is. I have a B&K 606 tube tester, which I got from Don. Works very well. You've seen it in the videos. The only thing I got to do is clean the octal socket pins, and I'm waiting for my Deoxit D5 to come in, which I've ordered for $11.99 at the Musician's Friend. So I ordered it online, free shipping. So that's as cheap as you're going to find that stuff, I'll tell you. So I want to clean the tube pins on that. Now, tube tester works very well, but it does not test the real old tubes. And sooner or later in this shop, I'm going to be needing to test the old 4-pin, 5-pin, 6-pin tubes, like the 80 and the 42 and the 45s and tubes like that. I may or may not ever get a radio in that has those tubes, but it might be. And so therefore, I got a Radio City product, model 308 tube tester. And I got it on eBay from this seller. And it was $75 plus shipping or make offer. So I made an offer of $50 plus $21 shipping. So I got it for $71 counting the shipping. You're not going to get a tube tester for less than that. Now, this is not a mutual conductance tester. You're not going to touch them for less than $300–400. Hickok's $500, $600, $700, $800 end up. See, and you're just not going to get that. So what little work I'm going to be doing, this would be fine. I'm going to open this up in a minute here. One of the things I've been wanting to get to is a communications receiver in my price range, which I have not been able to find. So it was toss-up between spending the money to get this or to get a communications receiver that I can put in the shop here also. Ideally a tube type, but I didn't want a real big boat anchor. So that's going to have to wait. It's not important. What is more important, I think, is a tube tester for this shop. So right now I think we're going to open this up and let's take a look and see what we got. All right. I'll tell you, the box is in good shape, so it didn't get banged around too much. Oh no. Well, I'm going to have to fight with these styrofoam things. Hang on a minute, because they're going to be all over the place. Oh, I hate these things. All right, here it is. Got a booklet with it. Oh, you know what? I ordered a tube setup chart for this because I didn't realize it had this in there. You'd mentioned there's a booklet with it, but the picture only showed this. So it's nice to know. Yeah, and it showed these here. So anyways, I've got another one coming from eBay, a place that makes up manuals, for $8.99 free shipping, and that should be in the mail pretty soon. So let's take the cover off here. And let's see. You see that? I guess you can. All right. And now there's some leads that are deteriorated with a socket on it. A plug, I should say. That is going to have to be rebuilt, but I'm not sure. It looks like it's epoxy in there or something. But I'll worry about that later. And not sure what this is. It's a prompt radio service. Got to get my reading glasses out so I can read that to you. Mitchell's radio and television service. Well, Chatham Avenue, Woodbine. We specialize in Sylvania radio tubes. So obviously this is a roll of labels that you'd wet and put on your radio after you service it. That's pretty neat. Radio City products were made in New York City. And it's got a nice cloth cord on it. And the guy that I got this from said that it reads just a little low compared to his TV7 tube tester. So that's, at least we know it works. Noise test. And low voltage control off. That might be the line set. Wire wound, I can hear it. So I can get you a little closer here. Alright, I got it on my Variac. I brought it up slowly. You can see the light is lit here. I'm not sure. Alright, that's the power. That's the low voltage control, but really got to look at the instructions on this. Line, there it is. Here's the line. Okay. Gotta get my damn head in the way. I haven't figured out how to do a video without getting my head in the way yet. So, we're using the camera boom here. Alright, so that's the line. That's the line check. So it's on line check now. This is the short setting. So what I'm going to do now is to get the setup chart out and commence to test the tube here. Well, I've only got 4 tubes in my inventory, and this is one of them. 6K6. So, now this has been tested on the B&K 606, and it tests good. This book here that came with the tester is a setup chart, but not an instruction manual. The book I ordered has, I believe, a 1-page instruction manual and a tube setup chart, 8 pages total. So probably a duplication of this, but that's fine. My thing is, I don't know what these K's represent. 6K6 is telling me 6K6. 6K6 is down here. It's these are all K's here. I think every one of them's K. K and F. I have no idea. It doesn't tell me at the top of the page what it represents. And there's no mention of that anywhere. Filament is 6, of course, 6.3 volts. 78 on the shunt control, which is fine. And then it's also saying to go into socket A. There is no socket A. There is socket N right here, which is an 8-pin octal. Then there's a 4-pin, and then this is a 5-pin. This is a spare. This is socket L, which is a loctal. Then there's a 6-pin old tube type here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And a 7-pin. And another octal, which is S. Now, in the book it mentions if you're testing 5-volt tubes for shorts, this is the socket to use. So, there is no socket A, as mentioned in the chart. This is the only other octal socket, so I assume it goes in here. It's got to go in here because there is no other. This is socket N, like in Nancy, right there. There is no other markings. none of these sockets are marked. The only ones that are marked are the spare, the octal, the loctal, which is L, and this other octal, which is S. So we set the shunt control at 78, which was right now. We got 6.3 on here, 6 volts, right here. And before we do, we turn the tester on. Tester's turned off, that's nice. Huh. All right, the line is set right in the middle, and I've got 117 volts going in. Now, this is supposed to be the short test right here. This meter took a while to come up. I think there's a tube in here, maybe. The book that I'm getting is supposed to have a schematic also. All right. The tube is lit. Test on the regular. And, all right, we got the line. We're testing for shorts. According to that, it says it's shorted. I don't know. Tube selector. I don't know what that's not even mentioned in here. That's not even mentioned. I'm going to turn this off here. Why isn't that out? There's no mention of this. Tube selector here. A, B, C, D, E, and F, and G. It doesn't say where that goes. You know, I'm gonna have to wait until I get the book on this. It's not that hard to use, but I do need to get familiar with the tester. In the meanwhile, the book should be in any time now. The book is coming from New York. This came from Ohio. So it's a possibility that short lit up because I might have this set wrong. So I don't want to damage the tester or the tube. I'll be back in a minute. There is no instruction book in here, there's just setup charts. Alright, I gotta wait until that book comes in, but meanwhile I want to open this up very carefully here. The cord comes through the side. Pretty much in camera here. This is not the perfect camera boom setup, you know, that I have. But like everything else, you know, camera boom is not working out very good for me. It's moving on the bar. I have to redesign the whole damn thing again. These are wood screws. I'll put them in here. Wait for my deoxit to come in. I can clean the switches. But you have to be careful with the deoxit from what I've been reading. Not to get it on the phenolic wafers of the switches. Okay, got the screws out. Let's see. I can get this out without damaging it here. Does have a tube in it. Has a 6H6. Hasn't been cleaned in probably, it's 1939. See if I can get this line cord out a little bit here. So 1939, it's older than I am. I was born in 43. 6H6, which is a diode tube. That's all there is in it. There's a capacitor here, a mica capacitor on the meter. It's actually in series with one side of the meter. There's a little light on the subject here. So I want to clean these switches with deoxit, but I got to be very, very careful using a toothpick and putting it only on the contacts and not on the phenolic wafer. There's a cloth covered wire, and this one here is the grid cap wire. That's a rubber covered wire. Dog bone resistors. I'm not going to mess around with anything on this. There is one capacitor here though. Paper capacitor. I don't know if you can see that. Some disadvantage because I don't have a monitor screen for this camera. Right there. Now, it needs a good cleaning, but I'm not going to mess around with it, and I'm not going to go, shotgun this and replace everything. I'm not going to do that, but I will clean up the switches. And this line cord is apparently original and was never changed, and this is really stiff right here. Here it's good and flexible. Now another thing too is the cabinet. I'll be careful to tip it up so you can see it. The cabinet's the black cloth is basically worn off of it, and what little there is left it's almost like I paint. There is a cloth on it, but it's pretty well gone. So what I'm thinking of doing is maybe cleaning it up and painting it black. Or I could take it down and sand the whole cabinet down, but that's something I'm not good at. But this might be for the line test. I'm not sure. Let's see if I can turn this around here. We can get a better view on the other side here. So, transformer appears to be good. And other than being very dusty and kind of like a little fuzzy in there, and there's corrosion on the pins and stuff, and the switches don't appear to be too bad. My eyesight, it's not going to be too easy cleaning this. This is a 6H6 tube right here. Philco 6H6. So that explains why the meter took a while to come up. The neon bulb is probably an NE51. It's very, very dusty. And the control for the line adjust is a wire wound pot, which I said was before I even opened this up. So there isn't a lot in here. So I would assume that this appears to be a emission type tester, which, like I say, you're not going to get a mutual transconductance tester for $50 plus $21 shipping, which is what this cost me. And I've been searching for months on eBay for a tube tester which will test the older tubes. And I didn't need anything huge. I mean, it's great to have a Hickok 539 or something like that. It would take up half my workshop. But those are, you're talking $1,000, you know, or more. And you got to be a rich man to buy something like that. I only go with the buy it now. I never win an auction. I lost 2 auctions on tube testers and several on communications receivers because it went way above my price range. So I had the extra cash, and that's why I latched on to this one. I'm going to try to do is clean this up a little bit, do that off camera. I'm not going to do too much with it until I get my deoxit, but I'm going to try to clean up the dust and dirt and stuff and clean up the cabinet a little bit. Alright, I'm going to do just a cleaning with a dry paintbrush here, just to clean off the little fuzzies that probably a mildew or something, I don't know, but it don't really smell really bad. It just smells old, you know. I like that old smell, you know. But we're just cleaning it up because these are cloth covered wires and they, you know, probably pick up this fungi or whatever it is. Pretty bad on this side. This is all I'm going to do until I get the book and the schematic. Now this capacitor that I mentioned over here is a wax paper. It's the only one in here. It's probably for the short test. That's usually where what they're used for, and to couple the tube to the neon bulb, I would imagine. And that will might have to be replaced. As a matter of fact, I know it's going to have to be replaced. As far as the cabinet, I'm not sure yet. That's something that'll be done later on, because usually like to try to keep these things original, but in order to have a working tube tester, you have to at least repair any parts that need to be replaced. You know, you have to repair it so it's workable. I have a little compressor that I bought right here from Home Depot, but it's an inflator and you really can't blow out anything. I bought it for the shop, but it don't have a tank on it, you know, so it's good as an inflator, but as far as using it for a blower, it doesn't work. I don't want to bring in my small compressor. I want to keep the shop, you know, less cluttered as possible. It's looking good. But like I say, I'm not going to do anything with this unit until I get my deoxit. And then I may do something. Now, as far as this cord, it's very hard here, but soft up here. But this wire goes right down to the bottom of the transformer, and it would be very difficult for me to see the solder in there. Although I have the microscope camera I can use. As long as this isn't brittle and coming apart, I'm going to leave it there. Because where the knot is right here and everything, it's all hard here, and it starts getting soft right in this point. Flexible. Before the, right up to the knot, basically. So the knot is on the inside of the cabinet. So in reality, I should really cut this off and redo this cord. But it's not bare, it's not, as long as I don't bend it, I'm okay. And I really need to get the schematic of this. This appears to be 2 resistors in parallel here. Fuzzies in here. It's like little gray hairs growing on the cloth wire. I got most all of it off. There's dirt in there, but I don't want to spray anything in there until I get my deoxit. I do. The only thing I've got right now is this stuff here, the CarQuest Quick Dry Electronic Cleaner, which probably wouldn't hurt to spray the switches. There goes my damn camera boom. I sprayed some of this in there. This stuff, there's more comes out of the damn top of this can and around the nozzle than it does on the... I'm almost out of this too. Story of my life. I'm always running out of something. I cleaned the switches with this solvent, basically just to get the dirt off the things, and then I got to get some CRC cleaner. The contact cleaner subject is very confusing. There's so many different opinions out there. So many different opinions of what to use and what not to use, what will damage it, what will not damage it. I mean, it's just overwhelming. And for years I've been using whatever was on the market. And I worked for an electronic supply house years ago, as I mentioned to you. And we used to use Channel Master Shield, which has got silicone in it, lubricant. You want lubricants in your potentiometers. You don't need lubricant in your switches, but you do need them on the lower part where the ball bearing rides on the switch on the bottom here. It makes the detent, okay? You do need lubrication there onto those places. This stuff dries quick, and it's a solvent. It leaves no residue. Now there's a ball bearing in here. It's actually a wheel. You probably can't see that. I don't have macro capability on this camera. Right there. See that little round thing? Right there, that's moving. Well, that needs a little bit of lubriplate on a toothpick, which I don't have. To go out and buy toothpicks too. So we're going to call it the end of this for now, until my manual comes in, before I do any more. Now, if you see what I'm trying to do down here, you see the cord, I'm pulling it in. Alright, till the knot comes up against the board here, and then I can drop the tube tester gently into the cabinet. Alright, and we're not going to put the screws in right now because we'll wait for the book to come in, which should be any day now. I found a problem here with these resistors here that are in parallel. Which go to the wire wound line control. Well, when I move this, the line control meter goes up and over the center, because when I put this back into the case, I couldn't get the line control to read any higher than 1/4 up the scale. Right now it's reading okay, but the control is all the way up. It should go over that, and it doesn't. I got 117 volts coming in this. So I just unplugged it. So there's a problem with the connections here. And I can see right away here the problem. See, disconnected from here. This resistor was in parallel with this one. Obviously this is not original. When I get the schematic, I'm going to change out this entire resistor assembly here. And while I'm at it, I'm going to change that capacitor, and I'm going to check these resistors. I won't replace anything that don't need to be replaced. At first I thought the 6H6 was loose in the socket, but that's not the case. This was the problem right here. So here we are. Now, I don't think this is original, but it could be. Could be a factory add-on. It was done many years ago. Wonder what value that resistor is there. I can't read it. But that's a more modern resistor compared to this. This is what they call the dog bone resistor right here. Looks almost like a fuse, but it's a dog bone like these here. But that might be a precision resistor. When I get the schematic, I'll know exactly what it is, and it appears to be on the slider of this wire wound pot right here, which has some corrosion right in here. See that? The deoxide will take care of that. And I won't be afraid to use deoxide on this. I just don't want to use it on this other than on each little contact on the wiper when it goes across. And keeping it off the phenolic wafers. But it's a lot cleaner now that I sprayed it out a little and brushed it with the paintbrush, dry paintbrush there. Okay, so that is that is it. That's going to end this part of the video. And when I get the manual in for this, I will at that time go over it, and there'll be another video for you to watch. Until then, thank you for watching. Take care, everybody. And stay out of the deep snow. And also, do not eat yellow snow. Thank you very much for watching.